Medians and altitudes of triangles. Split it up. 2 days. We're going to do medians today. Section 5.3. Vocabulary here. We're going to focus on the first two today. So we're going to focus on the median of a triangle, which the median of a triangle is a segment whose end point are a vertex and the midpoint of the opposite side. Now, what that means here is I'm going to draw it in relationship to a right triangle. It makes more sense in a right triangle to see it. So if I draw a right triangle here, the median would go from the vertex to the opposite midpoint. That blue line is a median and goes the opposite midpoint, meaning it cuts the other line in half. We're all understanding that now, right? By now, midpoints cuts things in half. That is a median. Now, why is the median kind of an important thing, or why do we have to know it? Well, the median in a triangle, now this works for any shapes as well, but we're talking about triangles today. The median in the triangle where all three of them intersect is what's called the centroid. The centroid is a point of concurrency, also known as the center of gravity. So what's cool about that is if you take all of the medians in that triangle, that point that they all intersect on, that is the point that you could balance the triangle perfectly, like on your finger. Okay, it's a perfect equilibrium point. Everything is balanced from that point. It's the center of gravity.
Balance birds things.
Yes. Okay. So again, it's one of those cool, unique points that the center of gravity is at. Okay. So that's the point of concurrency. I can balance it perfectly. Again, those are the two we're going to talk about today. These two we are going to talk about on Monday. Okay. So here it is again. I have a triangle. I have the medians of the triangle all drawn. Again, medians go from a vertex to the opposite midpoint, which is different from a perpendicular bisector and different from an angle bisector. Do we all understand that? Those are all different. Okay. The point they intersect, so this point right there, that is called the centroid. That would be the point that I could balance the triangle perfectly on my finger. Okay. Now, here is what you're going to have to know today. This centroid theorem. Okay. Now, this centroid theorem, there's a lot of different ways to look at this. So if you look at this one, you're like, 2/3. I don't do 2/3. Okay. Well, I'll show you another way to do these problems. It's okay. So the centroid of a triangle is located 2/3 of the distance from each vertex to the endpoint. So what that means here is this centroid right here is 2/3 the way of the whole segment. So that is 2/3 the way of the whole segment. Now, I'm going to give you some thought questions here to think about, and this will help you out if you can think about this. So nobody blurt out, please. The red line we just said was 2/3, right? That's what it's telling me. What about this green line then? If I put this green line right here, what is the distance of that green line? Don't blurt it out. Think about it. The red line is 2/3. The blue is the whole line. What does that make the green line? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody take a guess? What'd you say? It's 1/3. Yeah. If the red line's 2/3, the green line has to be 1/3. And that's going to help you out a lot today. Okay, so I can do the smaller segment a lot of times because it's 1/3. Now, here it is. Another thought question for you. Ready? What is the relationship between the two segments of the median? So what is the relationship between those two? Again, there's a couple different ways you can think about it. But what's the relationship between 2/3 and 1/3 there? Anybody? There's a couple different ways you can look at it. Anybody know what the relationship there is?
Same line.
They're on the same line. I agree with that. That's going to help.
They form a whole line.
They equal 3/3. If I add them up, they equal 3/3. So that gives me the whole line. Good. What else do I know about those two lines, though? It's 2/3 and 1/3. If I take the smaller segment and I times it by 2, what do I get? The smaller segment is half the bigger segment. 2/3, right? The smaller segment's half that bigger segment. Or think about it the other way. The bigger segment is 2 times the smaller segment. That's going to help you out a lot today. Okay, have an understanding. So 2/3 and 1/3, again, half or 2 times, I can get either segment with that. Okay, use those fractions. Because why does that help? I'm going to erase this here. Well, on this one, it says AH is 18. So the whole segment here is 18. It wants me to find AN. That blue part there. Well, according to the centroid theorem, I can find that because it's 2/3. Now, do we all know how to multiply with fractions mentally? Instead of, some people like to say, how do you put 2/3 in a calculator? You don't have to do that. What's a fraction mean? First of all, fraction means to divide. So one way to do it is take 18 divided by 3, which is 6, and then take 6 times 2, which is, hey, that's my answer, 12. Another way to do it is take 2 times 18 first. 2 times 18 is 36. 36 divided by 3 is still 12. Either way, I get that out there. Okay? Now again, for some of you who struggle with this, the blue line we said was 2/3, right? What does that make the green line here then? The green line is what? 1/3. If, let's say I wanted to find the green line, I know the whole thing is 18. What's 1/3 of 18? 6. I can always find the smaller segment first, and then I can go find the bigger segment. I can add or subtract and work from there. Does that make sense? So it might be easier for a lot of you to find the smaller segment first, and then find the bigger segment if need be, because it's easier mental math. Okay. The other example here shows us BN is 10. So BN is 10. Well, I can think of it in a lot of different ways. If BN is 10, what is NJ going to be here? If BN is 10, remember our relationship? What did we say NJ was? It was the relationship? It was half, right? It was half the medium distance. So what's half of 10? 5. So NJ is 5, which makes my whole segment now 15. Okay? So using those fractions, you can find all of these different lengths. Let's look at a couple problems here. We're going to go step by step through this. Number 1. I want to find RW. It says in triangle QRS, RX is 48 and QW is 30. Find each length. So RX, the red line, is 48. That red line is 48. It says I want to find RW and I want to find WX. Well, there are a couple of different ways to do this. It might be easier for us to find WX first. Again, why is it easier maybe to find the smaller one first? Because what do I have to do to find the smaller one? Just divide by 3, because I have the whole segment. I have the whole segment. So I'm going to take 48 divided by 3, and that means WX has to be 16. Nice job. Now, again, couple different ways to do this. It's all up to you. It's your preference, guys. If WX is 16 and RX is 48, what's one way I can find that purple line? Remember, the blue line's 16, the red line's 48. What's a way? I can subtract. Yeah, one way to do it is I could subtract. Remember, if I have a part of a line and the whole line, I could subtract. So I can take 48 minus 16, and I get 32. Another way to do that same problem is, what if I don't want to use the other line? Well, I know the whole line is 48. The purple line would be 2/3. So I could do 2/3 times 48, and I would still get 32. Either way it works. It does not matter. Okay, and again, it might be helpful for a lot of you to find that smaller segment first. Let's try the next one. QZ. Oh, sorry. KW is QW is 30. So this segment right here is 30. Does everybody see how that is not the whole segment? I have a partial segment. So I'm going to find WZ first. Who can tell me what WZ is going to be? Tigger? Nice job. Yeah, it's going to be 15. So I found number 4 already. How did you know it's 15, Tigger? Yeah, it's half. Yeah, that centroid, it's half of the other one right there, right? So now if this is 15, what is QZ going to have to be? So this whole segment would then be what? 45. Because 30 plus 15 is 45. Add the 2. Okay, nice job.
Wait, okay. I'm sorry. How do you get 4?
Number 4? We said this was 30. So the green right here is 30. The WZ is half, because that was 1/3 of the segment. So that's half of 30, 15. Half of 30 is 15. Okay. Another way, if you find QZ, you can subtract it. 45 minus 30 is 15. Either way. Let's try number 2. Or sorry, number 5. Problem set's number 2, I guess. In triangle HJK, HD is 21. So I'm going to start right here with HD is 21. This whole segment is 21. Which one do we like to find first? You guys like to find the small one or the medium first? Is it easier to find the smaller one first? Okay, so let's find BD first then. We'll do number 6 first. If the whole segment is 21, that makes BD what? 7, right? Because I'd take 21 divided by 3, and that gets me 7. Good. Now, what could I do to find HB? There's a couple different ways I could do it. What are you thinking, Emily? Add them, or if the whole segment's 21 and that part segment's 7, what's the other part segment going to be? Allie? What'd you do? Oh, so you did the 2/3. Nice job. Yeah, so Allie said, hey, 21 times 2/3 is 14. Awesome. That's a great way to do it. Another way to do it is, what'd you do? Yeah. Another way to do it is, well, I know that's twice 7, so I can take 2 times 7, and I get 14. Did anybody do it a third way? Could have done it a third way. I could have done 21 minus 7, and I still get 14. Look at that. 3 different ways to get that other segment. It doesn't matter which way you go. Find whichever way works for you, and that distance is 14. Nice job. Number 7 and 8. BK is 18. So BK here is 18. Do I have the whole segment? No, I do not. I have 18 there. What could I find here first, do you think? What would be easier to find, maybe? CB, I'd agree with you. If BK is 18, CB is then? 9. It'd be 9. CB is 9. Because that'd be half of the green line. It's 1/3 of the whole line, but it's half of that medium line. Does that make sense? So can I keep them straight between 2? So CB is 9. CB is 9. Now, what can I do to find CK? What would probably be the easiest way to find CK? Add. I could just add them. 18 plus 9 gets me 27. And again, if you have two parts of a line, you add them up, you get the whole line. Yes, ma'am. The green line, you see the green line? And the orange line? Okay, the green line, remember, is 2/3 of the whole. The orange line is 1/3 of the whole. The orange line is half of the green line. That's our relationship. It's half the green line. Because it's 2/3 and 1/3, it's that half relationship. All right, take a couple seconds to try these 4 on your own. Now, 9 and 11 are grouped together here. So recognize 9 and 11 are grouped together, and 10 and 12 are grouped together. Okay? Try these 4 on your own. All right, let's walk through here. RV. I want to find RV. I know the whole segment is 21. A lot of us finding the smaller segment first. It might be easier. Okay, so how about we skip that and do 11? So if the whole segment's 21, that means this small segment right there has to be 7. Nice job. Which then means if I have 21 here and 7 here, RV has to be 14. And I can take that by subtracting or taking it times 2 of the smaller segment, either way, or 2/3 of the big one. This, because that is 1/3 of the whole segment. So 21. RS is 21. It says RS is 21. So the whole segment is 21. That's the smaller segment's 1/3 the whole line, half the medium line. All right, number 10. I want to find TP, it says. Well, it might actually be easier to find VP first, or maybe it is TP, it doesn't matter. If VT here is 5, what does that make VP? 10. VP is 10, which makes TP 15. Nice job. Let's try these 4. Try it again here. Try these 4. All right, let's walk through these here. So number 13, I have GB is 20. So this part of the line is 20. I want to find FG. So FG here would be what, Kaylee? Nice job. Now I'm going to skip to number 15 because number 15 says I want the whole line now. So my whole line is going to be what, Suitor? 30. Nice job. And then I go do the other ones. So I have CD as 15. So this whole segment here is 15. Well, that means GD right here, this small segment right there is going to be what, Tigger? Nice job. Which makes then my other segment here, CG is going to be what? 10. And 2 parts of the line will always add to get the whole line. There's your assignment.